Greetings to all members and friends of the Salvation Army. It is July the 12th, 2020, and I just want to come to you with another update as we continue to monitor the development of the fight against this COVID-19 um, virus in this pandemic period. Um, I want to send some updates because as of the 1st of July, there were some changes, and I neglected to share these changes. So the changes affect um, everything that we do. So let me say one thing to all the staff and to all the church members as well. Um, Referring to the statutory document number 95, number 95, as it relates to um, health. And we will come down to the page that us and look here at number 4. For the purposes of preventing, controlling, containing, and suppressing the spread of the infectious disease COVID-19, every person shall wear a face mask or other face or nose and mouth covering at all times. Provided that children under the age of 6 years old shall not be required to wear a face mask or other face, nose, and mouth covering. So children under the age of 6 are allowed not to wear masks. But I do notice that most parents of children under the age of 6 have them wearing masks to protect them, which is good. Now, then there's section 1. Now, section 2 now, as it relates to wearing a mask, we see that there is a condition that we can have some leeway. So there are certain circumstances where you are allowed not to wear the mask. And these circumstances, let me go closer, notwithstanding section 1, so regulation 1, a person shall not be required to wear a face mask or other face nose mouth covering if that person is at a private residence. So if you are at a private residence, you're not required to wear a mask. That means, I guess if you had a friend, some places not public, you can go without a mask. If you're exercising, no mask. So if you're on the road walking, make sure you're exercising. Don't wait and you forget the mask, and you're walking with all your work items, work bags, and everything, and then when they stop you, then you say you're exercising because you're not exercising, and you have on your work uniform when you get into the office. So try to remember your mask. But if you're exercising, no mask. If you're playing a sport, no mask. If you're swimming, no mask. If you're driving alone or driving with immediate family members, no mask. So when they stop you, yeah, so it must be a brother, your sister, your uncle, your nephew, your cousin, your mother, father. If it's some friend, some valley down the street there where you just know a long time, some old brethren. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Plus relatives. You're riding a bicycle or a motorcycle, no mask. That's good news for me. Now here's the one here. Now I want people to take note of it because we under guidelines from the council of churches. The churches have a special thing guidelines that we're following, and I want to thank all the officers for trying to continue to enforce these things. At the end of every meeting or during every meeting, we take a list of names of everybody in the church because we want to ensure that if somebody get affected by the virus, or you need to do some mapping, that we can produce a list of names of the people who were in the meeting and the telephone numbers so that we can contact. So every meeting that you have, continue to keep writing the names in the book, the special book that you have. Now, in a meeting, the pastor, the priest, remember the choir, or any other person conducting the service or the sermon of a church or other place of worship is allowed to do it without the mask. What that means is when you come up to the microphone to take part, read the scripture, to pray, do the praise and worship, to give the announcements, to lead a song, to do a special item, to preach, you can take off the mask. And the people will be able to hear you clearly and be able to see you because you'll be 6 feet away from anybody else on the platform. You're allowed to do it so that the words can come through clearly into the mic in the sound system. But as soon as you step away from that pulpit and you're sitting down, you must be wearing the mask. Um, uh, Take note of that because if the Ministry of Health officials step in the church and find people not wearing the mask, they can charge the pastor, which means they're going to charge the officer, somebody. So everybody in the church are not behind the mic supposed to be wearing the mask. Pull down the thing. I know it's saying mouth and nose covering, but it's easier for us to cover your mouth, make sure cover on the mask coming out. No, put it under there and whatever. There's a special note for those who telling other people, oh, we don't need masks, whatever. In fact, don't even let me wait. Let me come down here to that section there. Um, Section 8, protocol. And let me make sure that I put it here. Every person who contravenes any of the provisions of this regulation or incites or attempts to incite any other person to contravene any of these regulations commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $5,000 or to imprisonment for 2 years. You hear that? So you must wear the mask. If they come, they find you if you don't fall into the category, especially in church. And somebody just sitting down and they're loose, they not even bring a mask with them to church. They come and find them, the person be charged up to $5,000 or 2 years in prison. So if you have on your mask or you telling some people, oh, don't put it on, they need that there. Well, that you're breaking contravening in attempts to incite any other person not to wear the mask or not to social distance, you can be prosecuted. This is please. I don't want anybody in Salvation Army causing us to come into the limelight. Let us follow. Let us follow the rules. It's only for 90 minutes. Anywhere else on the street, you have to put it on. You have to comply. And the churches get part of the proposition. They get special allowances that the leaders who might can actually take the mask off because in other places they can't. So please let us try to comply. So let me go back up here now. So then now we're talking now about social distancing. Now here again, blessings for us again. Every person shall practice social distancing. That is section 1. But then section 2 says, notwithstanding what is in section 1, the following persons shall not be required to practice social distancing. Persons of the same party singing. So the first section was to do with mask wearing. Now the next section is to do with being together, social distance. If you in the same group together, you can be together. If you're swimming, you can be together. But practicing closer together. If you're in any sporting activity, volleyball, tennis, whatever it is, you know, um, it can be closed. Listen this, watch this. Persons attending a church service or other place of worship. No, you don't have to sit down 6 feet apart. You can sit down right up close to each other and hold the Bible together, share the songbook, whatever. Um, no, there is no social distancing in church. But here's the key. Here's the key. And let me scroll down there. Um, Persons of the same party seated together at a restaurant, bar, casino, or well, that not really applying to us. Person at a discotheque or nightclub, that not applying to us either. Employees at a business or office, including government office, where the square footage of the building in proportion. So in the night shelter, in the gangs, in the pantries, in the office, we can be closer together. But here's the thing: it says provided that all such employees shall wear face masks or other face and nose covering. Um, there is some other thing about wearing the mask in the office. I think when you when if but I see people wearing masks inside offices or whatever. Try to keep up the mask thing. Try to keep it up. We don't want to let our guard down. I think in some offices the employees don't wear masks because they're actually more than 6 feet apart or whatever. Um, we have using discretion on this one. Using discretion on this one. But if somebody coming in to meet you, somebody from the public coming in to meet you at any salvation place, try to have some masks there to protect yourself because you don't know what the strangers bring in from off the street, and you don't want to contract anything or make anybody else in the office or wherever you are be susceptible. Um, so this is what I wanted to remind you, and especially those at the countries. People must be 6 feet apart. I notice some people trying to comply when the sun get hot, they try to bunch up in the shade. But so far we have been having a good time away from the policemen giving us trouble to close down because we've been doing the right thing. So I just want to encourage everybody. Let's keep up. They're going to keep changing, but let's just pray and hope that when they start to open up the borders and people start to come in, that the cases will not get so exorbitant that they cause some other kind of shutdown again, because it was hard for us. But we thank God that we were protected from dangers seen and unseen, and that those that have come in recent days have been quarantined, and therefore we have we have been protected from being exposed to them. So let's try our best. Enjoy the weekend. Those of you who work but don't go to the army, don't go to church, try to find a church and worship there. Those of you tomorrow, no, you can sit closer together. Still can't hug, but you know, you can come closer together. No, no social distancing in church, but we are wearing masks. And continue to sanitize, continue to wash your hands. I see people doing faithfully. It has now become a part of us. Let us comply. As Jesus said, give to Caesar what is due to Caesar, and give to God what is due to God. Now, what is due to Caesar? That's the government. What the government saying? Social distancing, mask wearing, sanitizing, um, and so we comply. What God say? Worship me. And so we come to worship, and what the Bible say? Also give an honest day's work and 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 and, and cooperate. Respect. So let's do all these things. Staff members and members of the church, we are part of a great organization. God is blessing us. Have a good night. See you guys soon. God bless you.